Welcome to Edinboro Television. I'm Leslie Schaefer.
And I'm Drew Patrick, and this is your weekly news update. Ebola has become one of the most talked about topics in the nation over the past month. The recent case of Ebola in Cleveland, Ohio has been a topic of concern for the local area. Edinboro University has responded to the situation through an email that was sent out to students this past week. They reassured students, faculty, and staff that there has been no outbreaks in the community and no one should be alarmed. There is a guide to Ebola prevention on the Center for Disease Control website, and the Gearing Health Center is always available for advice for students.
Potterfest has made its third annual appearance in the Edinboro community this past weekend. Visitors enjoyed the annual Tri-Wizard Tournament, Butterbeer, and the Ravenclaw Conference. The conference featured Dr. Lana Woodard from Farron College in Virginia. Woodard's keynote address on post-Potter reflections gave an inside look to the academic research that scholars have put together over the years. Woodard is known for editing the critical essay book The Ivory Tower and Harry Potter.
A panel discussion on the role of communication in effective patient-provider interactions will take place on Tuesday, October 21st in Compton Hall at 7 in the evening. Panelists include local health practitioners and the faculty from the Communication Studies and Nursing departments. The panel will also feature Elaine Gibson, who is a graduate medical education department manager at UPMC Hammett. Topics of the discussion will include current practices and educational training for health practitioners and healthcare advocates.
Let's take a look at campus media this week as I sat down with the WFSC and the Spectator managers. We are here with WFSC 88.9 radio manager Jade Hilliard and editor-in-chief of The Spectator, Logan Lilly. How are you guys today?
Good.
We're good.
Good. Jade, I heard some rumors, but I don't know if they're true, about a mobile app for the radio.
Nothing is set in stone. We have been talking about a mobile app last year. We haven't implemented it yet. I'm not sure if we're going to. But it's feasible. It could just take some time and some money.
Do you know how much money it might take, or?
Basically, what would happen is right now we pay SecureSystems.net to have her stream online, and they offered at no extra cost to create an app for us. Now, what would happen though is if we would want an Apple application, we would need an specific account to create that app through it, and that account is $99 a year.
Oh, wow.
So that's where the money would come from. If it was an Android app, basically anyone can do it through Google, but Apple, we would want it through Apple because so many people have iPhones, and that's where the money issue would come into play.
Okay. Any new shows?
We do have a few new shows just starting this week. Logan is actually one of them.
Oh, wow.
He is on Thursdays at 6 o'clock in the evening. We have a new sports show this semester on top of the one that we already have. Right now we have midday sports at 1 o'clock every day of the week, Monday through Friday, with Mike Fenner and Tyler Trumbauer. But Tariq Johnson is actually going to have a sports show at 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then we also have a couple of freshmen. Andrea's on Wednesdays at 2 p.m., and Christian Herman is on Thursdays at 11 a.m. And then a senior, Luke, is going to go on the air Mondays at 9 p.m. So they're all new this week.
The sports show, is it going to be the same coverage as what Midday Sports does, or is it going to be a little bit different?
I think a little bit different, probably mixing both. Tariq does plan to kind of feed off of what Mike and Tyler say, but he will have his own input as well.
Okay. I also heard that the radio is going to be at a haunted house for Halloween. Is that true?
We hope to. We are definitely thinking about it right now. Our plan is to possibly interview people as they come out of the haunted house and then edit the audio and then put it through the air. We're not quite sure which one to go through yet. We're not sure if we are going to maybe have a trip there that we could have, people get tickets through us and sponsor the trip. It is in the works, and we really hope to have it happen.
That would be so exciting for the radio.
It would be a lot of fun.
Logan, I hear that the office has gotten a new look.
Yes, the wall, our little partition in the Spectator office, has come down. It really opens up the office a little bit more because that room kind of has the full space, was technically, kind of the spectator office. And so that's come down, and then we're working to rearrange some things so it's a little more efficient. And the main thought with that, too, is we really wanted it to be more open so that, if anybody has story ideas or whatever, that they can walk in, talk to us, whatever. Whereas before, the wall sometimes would really discourage people.
Yeah, it seemed like every time I'd walk in there before, it just seemed like the wall was kind of like, okay, that's their space, and
So, we really want it to be, if people have story ideas, if they have, unfortunately some complaints or something, that you can always come and talk to us. That's kind of
anything to make the newspaper better.
Right, yes, yeah.
And I hear there is a story about Erie Horror Fest.
Yes, it's going to be front page this week. We have a story about the Erie Horror Fest that happens every year in Erie. They do a lot of different things with horror films, just they do some unique artwork up there as well. So we had somebody go up and cover that, and it seems pretty interesting. It was a pretty good story.
That seems interesting, and I also hear that Potterfest is back.
Yes, Potterfest, going on currently, and running for
till Saturday.
Till Saturday, yeah. And then, so we went in on that, and our lifestyles editor, she interviewed Corbin Fowler and Dr. Fowler, and kind of got his side of how the background stuff that goes on to make sure it's working. Did a little profile on him and all the little things that go on with Potterfest that you don't typically think about.
Yeah. I also had an interview with Dr. Fowler, and I have to write an article about it, but I hear that he started this from scratch and back in 2010, and he's come a long way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it started off as just kind of this small little idea, and now it's come this, yearly tradition.
Now.
So
yeah. And he hopes to make it a tradition, I hear.
Yes, yeah, and I think he's been doing a pretty good job of that so far.
Well, make sure to pick up a copy of The Spectator. That comes out every Thursday morning. And be sure to tune in to WFSC 88.9 for all the new shows. And to make sure to follow both organizations on Twitter at WFSC 889 and EUP_Spectator. Coming up, we have entertainment and weather, followed by your Fighting Scots Sports Report. Stay tuned. Okay. Caleb?
Come get your mic.
Fighting Scots like to match up with in multiple sports. The women's volleyball team.
My pot of gold, your daddy's little girl, till heaven home.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome to Entertainment News. I'm Caleb Richardson. Fury flattened all other films in theaters. Fury is likely to make around $23 million in its weekend debut. Brad Pitt is starring in a World War II action-packed drama. It is set largely within the overcrowded confines of an M4 Sherman tank going across Nazi Germany. Fury tops off a recent runs of cinematic success for the actor Brad Pitt. He was also a producer of Oscar-winning films such as 12 Years a Slave and the star of last year's sci-fi disaster hit World War Z, Gone Girl, The Book of Life, and also Alexander and the horrible, no-good, very bad day. and The Best of Me followed Fury. Coming up is weather, followed by your Fighting Scots sports report. Stay tuned.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help, but don't know how.
Oh,
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to ETV. I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Dorian Churn. Let's take a look at the week's forecast. We're going to start off looking at the maps after last week with nothing but the rain and cooler temperatures. We will have some more rain that will slip by, but the temperatures will start to warm up by the weekend. But for now, as you see, the mighty low pressure up in the upper peninsula of Michigan will be coming down with its cold front, and that will definitely keep the temperatures cooler and a little bit of rain in the forecast. And let's take a look at that week forecast. We're going to start off on Monday. There will be a few rain showers in the Edinboro regions. Highs in the mid-50s with a low of 46 degrees. That can also be said on Tuesday with some rain showers. Just make sure you have your umbrella ready. Highs 52 with a low of 44 degrees. On Wednesday, hump day, everyone, we have showers likely in the area. We won't be having much rain showers. It's actually going to be starting to diminish as we get closer to the weekend. Highs starting off in the 50s with a low of 40 degrees. But as we get to Thursday, we'll still have showers likely in the area. Highs 52 with a low of 39 degrees. Yeah, the low temperatures are starting to get down there, folks. So just make sure you have your jacket or hoodie weather because it will be cold nights. But on Friday, the last day of the school week, we'll have sunny skies in the Edinboro region. Highs 57 with a low of 42 degrees. And let's take a look at that weekend forecast as well. Look at that. No rain showers whatsoever. Sunny skies across the Edinboro region, and the highs will be in the lower 60s to upper 50s on Sunday with temperatures in the lower 40s. And let's take a look at the trivia question. What do we use an anemometer to measure? A, rainfall, B, visibility in the fog, or C, wind speed? And let's take a look at today's trivia question. Answer, it is C, wind speed. And what you see at the bottom is an anemometer. When you see that on the roof, that lets you know how fast the winds are going. And since October is Breast Cancer Awareness Fact, for women in the U.S., breast cancer death rates are higher than those for any other cancers besides lung cancer. So early prevention is key. And for all of the survivors out there, keep fighting the fight. Well, that was your weather forecast. Stay tuned for your Fighting Scots sports report.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Danse, balance la cadence, on lève bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex? Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Fighting Scots Sports Report. I am Tyler Trumbauer. The women's volleyball team is in the PSAC playoff hunt here in the final weeks of the regular season. Saturday, the ladies needed to pick up a win against PSAC West foe Indiana University of Pennsylvania. The 18-7 Edinboro Fighting Scots welcomed the 9-12 IUP Crimson Hawks to Macomb Fieldhouse last Saturday for PSAC women's volleyball action. The Scots got on the board early and often, scoring the first 11 points before the Hawks scored their first. That kill there by Tabby Meeks made it 17-9 in favor of Borough in set 1. Edinburgh would go on to take set 1 by a final score of 25-18, as this block attempt here made it wide and it gave the set to the Scots. The set 2 was a lot closer, more back and forth early on here, but the Scots did earn this point by way of another score by Tabby Meeks, made it 16-13 in favor of Borough. But that touch pass there by Elizabeth Silva made it 18-17. Edinburgh closing in were the IUP Crimson Hawks, but Edinburgh would prevail, winning set 2 as Jen Gruber comes up with a kill here later on to take set 2 by a final score of 25-22. Gruber contributing the kill as she is the leader in the kill category for the Fighting Scots this season. Later on in set 3, the Scots had an easier go of it. Back and forth here. Continuing on, but the point then goes for the Jill Glover, made it 14-7 there at the outcome of that volley, and they would win the match with Brianna Gardner taking the match point. Mara Maycock, who led the team in kills on the day, talked about how their loss to Clarion the night before helped them with this win.
Yeah, I think so, because I think we realized, like, Clarion was the best team in the PSAC right now, and we probably should have beat them or could have beat them, and I think it really showed us how good we really are, and we can really do some damage and make the postseason.
The Scots have a huge match at Macomb Fieldhouse against Gannon University on Friday at 7 p.m. The squad also welcomes Mercyhurst to Macomb on Saturday at 1. The women's soccer team had its first non-conference match of the regular season last Tuesday as Borough welcomed Roberts Wesleyan of the East Coast Conference to Sox Harrison Stadium. 7-4-1 Edinburgh welcomed the 6-6 Roberts Wesleyan soccer program to Sox Harrison Stadium. They got on the board first in the 50th minute, made it 1-0 with Bella Matrevsky's goal there. Alex Brown scored in the 78th minute to knot it up at 1 unassisted off of this ricochet of this shot. Roberts Wesleyan would go on to win in the 106th minute with another Matrevsky score to win 2-1 in double overtime. The ladies earned a 6-3 victory over Mansfield on Saturday afternoon, where Liz Debo set a new school record for career goals, and Ashley Mutkiss tied a school record for the most goals scored in a single match as she netted 4 scores. Edinburgh hosts Slippery Rock on Wednesday in a match with huge playoff implications. That match is at Sox Harrison Stadium at 6 p.m. and can be seen live on ETV. The football team returned to Sox Harrison Stadium last Thursday after earning its first win this season a week before against Clarion. The boys of Fall weren't as fortunate in this one. The 1-5 Edinburgh Fighting Scots welcomed the 4-2 Gannon Gold Knights to Sox Harrison Stadium. The Scots got on the board first, 7-0 here, with this rushing touchdown by Anthony Williams following a fumble recovery by Edinburgh and a big run by Williams. Brock Jones for Gannon had a 64-yard run to knot it up at 7 all in the first quarter. Then Liam Nadler, the 6'7" quarterback for Gannon, rushes this one in to make it 14-7 Gannon, and they would just roll from there. Brock Jones with a 20-yard run here to make it 21-7 in favor of the Golden Knights early in the second quarter. Later on in the second, about midway through the quarter, Gannon would add on to that score and make it 21-7 as Liam Nadler would hook up with Justine Ham to make it 28-7. A field goal made it 31-7 later in the second quarter, where most of the points were scored on the night. And then a big reason why Scots didn't score is the Gannon defense picked off Cody Harris twice. He was only picked off once coming into the game. And a rushing touchdown by Alex Papson here, 38-7. The final score was 52-7 in favor of Gannon. Head coach Scott Browning said what went wrong that night.
We didn't get things done. We didn't make plays, and they were there to be made, and we just didn't get it done.
The squad returns to action this Thursday night as the Scots travel to Erie Veterans Stadium to face off with Mercyhurst. That game is slated for a 7 p.m. kickoff. The men's and women's cross-country teams wrapped up their regular season slate this past Saturday as the Harriers competed in one of the top Division I meets in the nation, the Wisconsin Adidas Invitational. The men's and women's teams both competed in the open race that included more underclassmen from the top Division I schools in the nation, but still tough competition nonetheless. Matt Link was the top male finisher from the borough, he finished 20th. Elliot Martinkowitz and Corey Weefing were the next ones to cross the line with Edinburgh on their shirts. For the women, Casey Jones paced all Edinburgh female Harriers with a time of 21:55 and a 34th place finish. Emily Aarons and Anna Hosel were the next best finishers for Borough. No team scores were kept in those open races. The teams will now prepare for the PSAC Championships, which will be held on November 8th at Mansfield University. The men's and women's swimming teams kicked off their regular seasons this past weekend in the Spire Open in Geneva, Ohio, against Clarion and IUP. Edinburgh's men's teams fared better than the women's team as far as team scores go, with the men's team finishing second. However, IUP ran away with the entire day at the Spire Open. Tony Romanini, Stacy Schreckengoss, Holly Stein, and Micah Cattell all earned first-place finishes on the day for Edinburgh. The teams are in action next this Friday in the Westminster Relays and on Saturday at Lake Erie in Geneva, Ohio. That's all for this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ETV Sports to stay up to date on all the Borough athletic happenings.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
And that's all the show we have for you today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Borough Television and like us on Facebook.
And for any story ideas, you can always email us at edinburghtv@gmail.com. Have a good week.
That's a wrap, bitches.
Two take, only take?
Oh my God.